Hey everyone, and welcome to our Friday Live. So let me clear out my screen here because I learned last week that switching between the video and the screen share does not work all that well on the Facebook Lives. So we're just starting out with just the screen share today. So in case you don't know, I am Stacy. I'm the tech coach here with Author Boss Academy, and along with my cohorts, Ella and Carol, we like to bring you tips, tricks, how-tos, and so that you can really just start bringing your books to the world. And that's kind of what we do. We love helping everybody. Now, also, before I jump in and get started, to make sure you get notified and don't miss any of our lives, jump over to authorlikeaboss.com/notify. That's authorlikeaboss.com/notify. And you can sign up to get reminders of when we're getting ready to go live so that you don't miss any of them. So that being said, let me jump in here and we'll get started. So I thought that we would do something just a little bit different today. Um, a lot of times we talk about website stuff or, specific to WordPress or book formatting, but one of the really common questions that I see come up a lot in not only our group here, but in other writing groups as well is, what software do you use to write? I see that come up a lot. So I thought today we'll start this out. And if everybody kind of likes it and is on board, then we'll go through and do a few more of them on our Friday Lives as well. And that is basically you're going to get an over-the-shoulder view of me reviewing a piece of writing software. And this is beyond your normal, Microsoft Word or Google Docs or Pages if you're on a Mac. It's going to be more than that. It's going to be actual software made for writers. Now, Scrivener, we will be, I think a lot of people are pretty familiar with Scrivener, or at least have heard the name quite a bit. That seems to be the one that a lot of people use. And what we're going to do in our series is we're going to look at a lot of free options for free writing software that's readily available. And we're going to look at a few that are also paid, but today we're going to be looking at one that is free and is available for Windows computers. And that is called freewriter.com. Okay, it's just freewritersoftware.com. And now, don't believe they've made it available for Mac. To my knowledge, it is only available on Windows right now. But it is a fantastic little piece of writing software. I myself typically use Scrivener. However, being a techie, I like to use the tool that works best for whatever particular project I'm working on. It just makes sense. Use the best tool for the job. And I do on occasion switch between FreeWriter and Scrivener. I love FreeWriter, actually. And it does have a lot of the same functions as Scrivener also, which is a really nice kind of intro way to start using writing software without making an investment up front if you're not ready to make an investment in software. So that being said, and I will drop the link to their website in the chat after the video, but just if you want to jot it down, it's just freewritersoftware.com. So let's jump into the software and see what we're working with here. Now, when you first install it, this is what it looks like when you have it. And I don't have any projects or anything set up. It's got a quick start guide that it comes with, which is basically laid out like a writing project. And you can kind of go through there and play with that and look at all the elements of it. But I'm actually going to take you through setting up a brand new writing project and show you what all you can kind of do with it here. So once you're in the software, if you go to File and then New, you can do a new novel/story. And it's going to bring you up a new novel wizard, and it just kind of walks you through pretty much setting up a brand new novel project. So for this, I'm just going to say test novel, and I'm going to say it's going to be 75,000 words, and I want to complete that by October 30th, 2019, which is way, way off, but we'll just leave it. You can set whatever date in here you want, obviously, and it's going to help you keep track of your progress and let you know really where you stand as far as getting it done by the date you want. Now, your front matter, for me, I always use a title page. Whether you use these others is obviously a personal preference. I do use a little bit of these myself. I usually don't do a foreword or an about the author. I usually put that in the back. But again, you can use these as you choose. It'll let you go ahead and create chapters up to 12. Most of my books that range anywhere from 30 to 45, so I'm just going to go ahead and say 12. In your back matter, I don't typically use an epilogue or a conclusion, and I don't use a bibliography, but I do want to choose one or two of these because I do use back matter, so I'm going to want a couple pages back there that I can play with. So I may go ahead and just say an afterword and a conclusion because I'm going to want a other books by this author page, and I'm going to want an about the author page. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose a couple of those and say next. And then this basically brings you up, if you're a first-time user especially, gives you some kind of tips and tricks getting started, and it kind of walks you through what we're getting ready to do here. And you can tell it not to show that again if you want, completely up to you. And then you're just going to say proceed, and you'll see that it's bringing you up to this corkboard, which I love the corkboard view. Because at this point, this is where you can stick all of your notes, all of your research, anything like that. So for example, I'm just going to minimize this here for a second. For example, I can, if I have a website that I know I'm going to use for a lot of research, whether that's a Wikipedia or whatever it may be, you can click on this web page here, drag it down there, and it's going to give you a little tip, for the first time using it. And then it's going to bring up the browser that is built into the software. Now, some websites will come up a little strange looking in this built-in browser because it's not like a fully functioning browser. In fact, let's see if I can break it here. So to show you what it looks like, I'm just going to go to one of my sites here and see if it'll let us get there. Because I use a lot of scripting on my site, so it may... took us to the Warm Epson site. That's not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see, now on my site, because I use a lot of scripting, this comes up. That's not actually on my site if you go to it. But because we're not using a fully functioning browser, if you get something like this, you don't have to really worry about that. That's just because we're using this built-in browser here. So I'm just going to say no there and exit out of there because, obviously we don't want that. And you can see it does start loading the page. I just don't want to have to deal with all the script errors that are coming up. But I did want to show that to you. But anyway, so you can, just going to go here real quick and close that out. Yes, okay. But you can go in here and, like I said, and put in, if you have a website that you use for a lot of research or you want to refer back to, you can put that right in here, and then it's going to be down here on your corkboard for easy reference whenever you need it. Same with all of your notes. If you have a bunch of ideas and notes that you want to put in here, you can just put your notes on there and go on about your business. You can drag these around to wherever you want to put them on there. If you want these to show up smaller so you have more room, or if you're half blind like I am and have really bad eyesight, you can make it a little larger. But you can do a lot of things in here to make it look the way you want. Again, same with, you can do this with images. If you want to link to an external file, any of those kind of things you can do here. So that's just the preliminary new novel wizard, kind of getting it all set up for you. So I'm going to say finish here. And then you'll see it created our new novel project. So this is our test novel. Here's the chapters and everything that we told it to put in. Here's a place where we can go back to our thoughts. If we want to put thoughts in on any particular chapter, any free thoughts we can just put down here. Elements, if you want to go in here and add new character sheets, which I love this about this particular software. You can go in here and just create a new character. I'm just going to say test character. We can give it a brief description here. I'm just going to stick some lorem ipsum text in there. Let's say this is a main character. Doesn't really matter. We're just testing this out here. You can say next. It's going to walk you through. We're going to say this character is 100 years old because why not? They're 6 foot tall, and they're in great shape. So excellent shape. And it's going to walk you through all of these things. And we'll say they're 100, so they're going to have gray hair. How they smell to others, that's an odd one. I've always thought that was a bit odd, but I guess especially if you're using non-necessarily, you know, maybe non-human creatures and characters, that could apply. I'm going to say, I don't know, fine. They're not particularly stinky, so that's fine. Any identifying features, noticeable mannerisms, all of those sorts of things. So I'm just going to go ahead and say finish so you can see what that does. So here's the text that I was kind of pasted in. And then all of these attributes are down here so that you can refer back to these at any point in time without having to, and see, this is one of the nice things about using writing software over using something like a word processor like Word or Pages or Google Docs, something like that. Instead of having all of these things kept either in a separate paper notebook or in separate files, you have all of your research, all of your characters, all of these things right here in the same file as where you start writing. So I'm just going to paste in, you know, a few paragraphs here like I'm writing my chapter. The other really nice thing about this piece of software is it actually has a dictation feature built into it. Now, like most dictation software, it does need to be trained. It does sometimes have a little bit of problems with accents. I tend to have my little slightly Southern accent will trip up a dictation software pretty easily. So you do have to work with the dictation and train it and make sure, you know, of course, go back and check it and make sure it's not saying something really funky in there. But that is a nice feature of this particular software. Now, if we go back down here to elements, you can see there's also the same thing for characters. You also have that for places, things, events, and plot twists. So you can use this, and we'll just go through here and do a couple of these. So place one, where is it? I'm going to say in the southern hemisphere of the world that I'm doing here. And of course, just like with the characters, it will show you all the different attributes, walk you through that, and you can put as much or as little of that as you want in there. And I'm just going to say finish. And just like with the character sheet, it gives you all of these attributes and things with it. The other thing you can do here too is, let's say you have images that are for you kind of connected to a character or a place, you can actually put those in here. So you can just go up here and insert an image and put that right in there so that you have that for reference. Okay, so we'll go back to elements and you can see our place one is here. Same with things, it's going to do the same exact thing, walk you through all of that. Yep, I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to add a thing right now. Yeah, cancel. And same with events and plot twists. So like I said, there's a lot that you can actually do with this. Let me get back down here, and you can go in and look at your productivity. And this is where the word count that you put in the beginning actually helps you out. And you can kind of see where you're at any given point in time. Obviously, we haven't done much yet, so this isn't going to really show us a whole lot right now. But you can go in here and really see where your productivity is, how far away from your target you are, and all of those sorts of things, which can be really, really helpful. The other really nice thing about this is if you are working on multiple projects at once, or if you're like me and I'm really, really bad about this, I'll be working on one book and get an idea for 10 other books. And it's a battle sometimes trying not to, you know, run after the new shiny object. So what I do when that happens, and I'll do this in Scrivener, usually, like I said, I work in Scrivener a lot, but I also do this in this software, which is I'll just go in and create a new project. So for example, I'm working on Tess novel. I have this great idea for a whole brand new book I want to write. I will actually go in and do a brand new novel story. I'm going to say new great ideas, what we're going to call this one. I'm just going to leave all that at the default because it doesn't really matter right now. And I'm just going to say, you know, initial thoughts. I do want to do my initial thoughts here because I don't want to lose that great new idea that I just had. So, you know, I'll probably do something like this and put new great idea and just kind of brain dump all of that onto here so that it's there when I'm actually ready to come back and start working on it. And I'll finish that. And then guess what? My new great writing idea is sitting there ready for me to start working after I've finished doing the book I'm working on. And that's a great little thing you can do to, keep track of all of those ideas. And some of those ideas, you may come back and look at them and go, huh, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Or that's not going to work. Or, hey, that will work, but I can use it better in another book. But you'll still be able to keep track of all those ideas all in the same place and not really break your flow and your stride on the current thing you're working on. So it really does kind of help with that shiny object syndrome that some of us writers tend to get sometimes. So anyway, if you guys like this idea of going through and looking at some of the different pieces of software available, because I've tested a bunch of them and have used quite a few of them, let me know. Drop me some comments down below the video after you take a gander here, and let me know if you like this idea, because if you do, the next time I do my Tech Live on a Friday, which I think is going to be 2 Fridays from now, we'll just continue on and we'll go through and do a review behind the scenes look at a different piece of software so that you guys can kind of see what's out there, what's available. Maybe you'll find something new you want to try, or maybe you'll find your first piece of writing software that you absolutely love. So like I said, drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you think about all this. And as always, don't forget, if you like this, if you're finding our lives helpful and you love the information that we're sharing, you can get a lot more of this inside the Academy. So, come over there and join us. We have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of one-on-one help in there as well, with whether it's tech, marketing, or writing. We're always in there. So like I said, drop me some comments down below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.